Hi, Rob Linhart here in the Hazel's Wine Department, and here we go with Sunday specials for May 14th and 15th.
John was the first one to pull you down. He took one drink and he started to clown. Passed you the Hazel, Jane, and Jack. Penelope got you and passed you right back.
We've got 4 wines to talk about this week. We've got bubbly, rosé, white, and red. We're going to start with the non-vintage Angels and Cowboys Brut Rosé. Now, this is coming out of California. I like this rosé. It's got a very pleasant, nice, expressive nose up front. Good red berry, raspberry, kind of white cherry fruit. As it opens up on the palate, little hints of pastry dough. A citrusy note will come through. I was thinking, in combination with that pastry dough, sort of orange creamsicle. Kind of a nice little thing to have on your palate. Good acidity here, but not a ton of cut. So what you really get is a good tangy finish on this wine, a really approachable, really easy drinking, solid rosé. Next up, we're heading to France for a still rosé. This is the 2021 Le Pain de la Cardinière Coteau d'Aix-en-Provence rosé. 2021 vintage here. This is the Coteau d'Aix, the hills of Aix-en-Provence, and right up front you get that Provence perfume and that distinct mineral tone that we really look for in these wines. This was a little slow to open, but as it opened up, you did get into some nice red fruits, red berry, raspberry fruits again. With a little bit of time in the glass, it'll start to show some of that classic garrigue, those herbal tones that we look for in this wine. As with so many good Provence rosés, there is kicking acidity here. It's really going to carry through and play with that minerality on the palate. It's going to hit you on the finish. So as rosés go, although it is a light-ish style coming out of Provence, a little bit of food will go a long way to bring the fruit out of this wine. Next up, we're heading to New Zealand for the 2021 Grey Rock Reserve Sauvignon Blanc. As with most of the best of New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, we are in Marlborough here. This wine definitely, I feel, a cut above in terms of depth and character. You get those classic New Zealand citrusy tones. So right up front, grapefruit, a little bit of that gooseberry note. We'll get into those tropical tones, passion fruit, star fruit, really going to come to the fore on the nose. On the palate, as it opens up, those fruits will carry through, and then we'll get into a little bit of a grassy or slightly herbal note, even a hint of earthiness coming through on the finish. So many of these New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs really come at you with that acidity. And don't get me wrong, this is not lacking in acidity, but they've really rounded it out, polished it, kind of sort of plumped up the wine a little bit. A really approachable, really easy drinking style. Definitely a cut above average for New Zealand. Last but not least, we are heading to California for the 2021 Double Black Paso Robles Cabernet Sauvignon. This wine has Paso Robles written all over it. So right up front, that Paso spice. Think about that sort of slightly woody, almost cigar box tone to go along with some opening notes from oak. A little bit of coconut, vanilla, pie spice is definitely showing through up front. But the oak is not dominating the fruit here. So right away, the fruit is going to start to assert itself, and we'll get into those classic California Cabernet, black and red berry and cherry fruits. There's a nice chocolatey layer laying on top of this wine. Very pleasant. As it opens up, we'll also start to get into some nice damp earth, little hits of nuttiness showing through on this wine. The alcohol level here only reported at 13.8%, which these days is showing some restraint for Paso Robles. So I wouldn't quite say elegant, but definitely not a full throttle, in-your-face Cabernet, but nevertheless, classically styled, immediately recognizable as good Paso Cab.
John was the first one to pull you down. He took one drink and he started to clown. Passed you the Hazel, Jane, and Jack. Penelope got you and passed you right back.